Welcome back for another episode of our preseason chats with SJHL coaches across the league for Saskatchewan Construction Safety Association. We head to the Viterra division today to the Parkland region as we were joined by the head coach and general manager of the Melville Millionaires, Doug Johnson. Doug, welcome to the show. Appreciate your time today. Let's start with your summer. How did everything go this summer for you personally?
Well, it was good. Obviously, it started off with a contract extension, so that was really nice. Something myself didn't even start up. The board started it up, so it was nice to feel wanted and easy negotiations. And then, like saying before we got on air, got to catch ACDC in Pittsburgh and catch my Atlanta Braves playing in Pittsburgh for a couple games. So it was just a perfect trip. And other than the wind and the smoke, a few days, spent as much time as you could at the lake and did a little fishing, had fun with old friends, and just watch the kids grow up.
That's awesome. And yeah, you mentioned the smoke and the weather. I did a little work for the Western Canadian Baseball League this summer, and there was 33 rainouts or smokeouts this summer for baseball, which is pretty unprecedented. It was definitely a heavy workload for the schedule makers and the groundskeepers at the ballparks this year. So totally understand that. But that actually leads me perfectly, your coaching extension, that leads me perfectly into my next question, which is usually for a coach coming into a scenario like you just did in Melville just recently, it takes a couple of years to really put your stamp on a team. Obviously, you're carrying over old rosters and you're putting your own kind of mark on everything, getting some of your own players in there. I'm always curious how it positively or negatively, but I'm assuming it's positively, affects your recruiting process the longer you're in one spot. How did it go this year now that you've had another full offseason under your belt in Melville?
Well, and I thought the recruiting went really well this year. We had our target of some off ice, out of province kids, sorry, and we got them early on in probably December. Um, our local kids took a little longer. And just with the dynamics of hockey, like we could have kept recruiting, we could have got a few more players, and I don't want to use the term over recruit, but we've left a couple spots open for camp. But with, like I said, the landscape of hockey, players coming, players going all the time. It's just unprecedented times, and that makes it really tough. That's every day you're wondering who's going to phone and not show up, who's going to phone and say, "Hey, I want to come." A lot of unpredictability in these off seasons the last couple of years, especially this one. But to me, just the guys that come back, you got to respect them. You got to make sure that their loyalty is rewarded and appreciated. Make sure they know that. And then the young guys coming in, the recruits, again, you just hope that you can build a program that they want to be part of for year after year after year. And we feel we're doing that. Obviously, some players have left that they don't feel the same way. But if you look at the guys that have left, and not only the Millionaires, but the whole league, guys that have left the league the last couple of years, they didn't find the success that some of the guys that stayed have. So I think it's a testament to our league and to our product. And I think you're just going to keep seeing that more and more guys that leave want to come back. And I know our stance is if you leave, you're not coming back. We'll send you to wherever, but we're going to be loyal to the guys that are loyal to us. And you want to go explore other options, that's your prerogative, but you're not going to have the same opportunity when you come back.
Yeah, for sure. And that always brings back to the league motto, which is stay here, play here. And I think that goes a long way to exactly what you're saying. But what that always does lead to is some opportunity opening up for some younger guys or some fresher players. And I know you have a good group of returners, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But let's look at last year. Obviously, a big step forward for the team, for the organization. 31, 22, 2-1, 65 points, a fifth-place finish. And, of course, getting back into that playoff spot with that Yorkton rivalry in the first round, which, anytime the Terriers and Mills play, regardless, it's great. But in a playoff scenario, boy, those rinks were unbelievably electric. What can you take away? There must be a lot of positive momentum for the blue and white. What can you take away from last year that you can apply now to this year's team coming up?
Well, it's just going to be the experience, and then hopefully there's a little bit of hunger left from the disappointment last year where it's only a 5-game series. We felt we could have won the series. I think every game was a 1-goal game, 2 losses in playoffs. We were close, but we weren't there yet. So a little bit of hunger. But then the experience is invaluable too. That's been 2 years now where the guys have gone into playoffs. 2 years now, fifth place finishes. We've hung a banner here in my 2 years. Now it's time to take a next step, and we feel we have the back end for it. Our four group might be a little underrated, I'll say. On paper, it might not be the sexiest, but we're going to do things a little different. And our goaltending, you alluded to losing two goalies. Um, it's we feel we got six guys coming in that can play right now, and we're looking forward to getting the two best. And we got Cale Svensson's probably the guy that's in pencil right now as our starter. But I know he's going to be pushed, and he had a phenomenal year last year in the KI Goalie of the Year, and looking forward to seeing him come in. But we're just excited of everybody coming in. Again, we talk about loyalty, guys wanting to be here. The recruiting process to get these guys here wasn't that hard. It was, hey, you want to be here, 100%, let's go. And that's what's exciting. And the guys coming back, obviously, they want to be here. They're showing their loyalty because I know a lot of them had other options. Just got to be very proud of them and grateful that they want to be here.
Yeah, you love to hear that. And I remember, Doug, last year about this exact time I talked to you, and one thing that you really wanted to emphasize about last year's team before the season started was how confident you were in your blue line. And just seeing your list of returners, I got to think that going into this year, you're also really confident in your blue liners coming back. That's got to help a lot for, I know how Doug Johnson teams are like to play. It must be nice to have that continuity on the blue line.
It is, and it's something that, like, Harkey, going to be his third year here. He's going to be, the straw that stirs the drink. He's going to be the driver on that back end. But then you have Goldie, who's, I think it's his fifth year of junior. He's going to be there adding invaluable experience. Louis Nadeau, who came in at Christmas time, just a little pit bull that might not be the biggest, but you see him now, he's gained 10 pounds in the off season. Just as the energizer buddy. And then Hicksy and Craig and Brody Hicks, Riley Craig, and very underrated guys that they're going to be miserable to play against night in, night out. They're not going to give up much. And both of them have a lot of underrated offense that, you might not see, but they can lead the transition. They're going to make a great first pass, and they both work incredibly hard on getting shots in from the point, and that's how we're going to have to score a lot of goals, is those second chance opportunities from rebounds. So we like those five guys, and not even getting into our recruits, and we think we have an outstanding recruiting class this year.
That's fantastic to hear. And you mentioned your forward group maybe being underrated, and I think there's a lot of guys that are coming back from the list I'm seeing here that could take big steps. Do you want to maybe just talk about some of those bigger guys who might have bigger roles, I should say, coming into this season?
Well, it's going to start with Brendan Olsen, another, just like Harkey, a 3-year guy, and a guy that probably doesn't get as much recognition as he should. He's been a complimentary piece. Now he's got to be a centerpiece. He's going to be huge. Guys like Edward Knittig and Jet Fogel, two 20-year-olds that Jet's lost a year and a half with injury. Nitz lost a lot of time last year with injury and in other things. They're going to have to take huge steps. We look at Devin Winder, Jackson Lee, two 18-year-olds, big left wingers that are going to be miserable to play against. And then our three 17-year-olds, Mo and Dewey and Bearsy. Like, I think Bearsy could be the best 18-year-old in the league this year. Mo might be one of the fastest, and Dewey might be one of the most belligerent players in the league. And I know I'm missing. I better look at my list because I know I'm missing guys. But we're really happy with those guys. And then picking up Matty Edwards again, it adds a little bit of belligerence to our team. But it also, he has a phenomenal shot. I think there's a lot more offense there than he's shown in the past. I still remember as a bantam, and just a phenomenally skilled kid. And then getting Gibbon Yu and Rylan Oatman are two huge additions too, that can put the puck in the net and can add on the offense. So we like that. And then again, our recruiting class we are incredibly happy with. Got some locals like Wesley Olson, guy that's been around. Got a big bugger in Grady Carmichael, 6'5", 6'6" kid that can skate really well. Henry Thunder Blanket was one of the top SJHL scorers. And again, I'm missing people and not meaning to, but you get my age, your memory your
Yeah.
memory isn't as sharp as it used to be.
No, don't worry about it. I know camp is a busy time for everybody. Trust me. There's a lot of names flying around, so I totally understand where you're at. Don't feel bad. So taking all that, obviously some excitement there coming in on the ice. I know camp's going to probably be very competitive. Like you mentioned, maybe leaving a couple spots open just to see what happens there. But generally, just the overall excitement in Melville for the Millionaires over the last few years has really been ramping up. How did that transfer over for the summer for the team on the business side of things? Everything seems to be going pretty nicely and strong on that side.
100%. And we have our AGM tomorrow night. So I'll, I guess this probably isn't shown today, but have our AGM on the 27th. And, we're going to report $141,000 net profit. So that's huge. There's money in the bank. Um, our volunteers have been phenomenal. Our sponsors have been phenomenal. We've had great fundraisers. Our Club 400, our comedy night, our lotto, our cash super lotto, things like that have been incredibly successful. And that just shows the passion of our fans, the passion of the community and surrounding area. Because I know there's another team here that just took a net loss of 95K or something like that. And, this community is pretty special, and we just want to try and hang more banners and bring a title to Melville. And we're working our ass off to try and do that. And I think if you ever see a championship in this town, the cops are going to be called, because it's going to be a party of epic proportions.
Yeah, look out, Parkland region, if that's the case. So, Doug, I guess with that being said, tell me about your targets, your goals this season. What does a successful season on the ice look like for the Melville Millionaires this year? Might be an
Well,
obvious question, but
I think if we just look at the big picture, we get away from ourselves, and it has to start just making sure the guys get a little bit better every day, making sure we get the best players available. If there's a trade to be made that makes us better, we got to make sure we try and do whatever we can to put the best players in positions to succeed. Use the term, get the right players on the bus, the wrong players off it, and make sure everybody's in the right seat. We do that, and we make sure that they get a little bit better every day. The big picture will come into focus, but I think you got to start small, focus on that, focus on little details. And we do that and make sure that the guys are good citizens in the community, make sure that we promote the logo, the crest as best we can, wear it with pride. To me, that's a success, and on the ice, it'll take care of itself.
there you go. Love that. Well, Doug, thank you so much, and I'll let you get back to all of the AGM coming up and all of the camp stuff coming up. I will chat with you again, I'm sure, not too long into the season. Good luck in the 25-26 season, Doug.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.